Welcome back to Anatomy and Physiology on Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoph. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. In this video, we're going to talk about two cell types in bone tissue, and those are osteoblasts and osteocytes. We're going to cover osteoclasts in the next video, and in looking at these, we'll also look at the parts of the osteon, which is an important component of compact bone. So let's begin with osteoblasts. So osteoblasts are cells that look like this, and these are cells that function in secreting bone matrix. Now, bone or osseous tissue is a connective tissue, and so remember, connective tissue has both cells and a matrix. And in most tissues, the matrix is not solid. Okay? It can range from either liquid to gelatinous, semi-solid. But in bone, it's solid, which hopefully was pretty obvious. Bones are very hard. Okay? And there are two major components of that matrix. We have an organic component, which is the collagen proteins. Okay? Collagen actually imparts flexibility to the bone. Okay? And then the inorganic component is something called hydroxyapatite. This is really just a term for all the calcium salts that exist inside the matrix, and the hydroxyapatite is what gives it its hardness. And so osteoblasts build bone. The way we remember that is the B in blast stands for build. So they build the bone by secreting these two components, collagen and hydroxyapatite, among other minor things. And this is going to allow the bone to increase in density. And they also function in the initial building of bone in fetal development. Okay? Now, when these osteoblasts are forming more bone matrix, when they're initially forming it, they're going to start secreting it around themselves. Okay? And I sort of put this in these light layers right here. You can see that they progressively grow darker, and that's because there's not a whole lot of matrix around it at first. Okay? But that osteoblast is going to continue secreting more bone matrix. So more organic collagen, more inorganic hydroxyapatite. And it's going to continue secreting more and more bone matrix. And eventually, the bone matrix is going to become dense and hard enough that a lot of nutrients like oxygen, glucose, things that cells need, are going to have a hard time getting to the osteoblast. Because think about it. If it's secreting more and more of this bone matrix, then the nutrients that this osteoblast needs are not going to be able to diffuse very well through the matrix because it's so hard. So this osteoblast is going to be receiving less and less oxygen, less and less glucose, and so on and so forth. Okay? And at some critical threshold, among some other biochemical signals, a low enough oxygen delivery and a low enough glucose delivery is going to trigger the osteoblast to differentiate into a new cell type. This new cell is called an osteocyte, and the osteocyte is going to function in simply maintaining the bone tissue. The osteocyte no longer is going to really function in synthesizing collagen or synthesizing hydroxyapatite. This cell is going to maintain the bone tissue, and this is going to be the resident cell of something called a lacuna. And so basically what's happening with the osteoblast is it sort of gets trapped in its own secretion. Okay? And when it gets trapped in its own secretion, which is the matrix of the bone, it can no longer receive a super high amount of nutrients, and so that, along with some other biochemical signals, trigger it to differentiate into an osteocyte, which, rather than secreting more bone matrix, functions in maintaining the bone tissue. Okay? And each Ostian, as we're going to see in a minute, contains many, many osteocytes. So let's actually look at the functional organization of the osteon, which is the functional unit of compact bone. Okay? So we have these circular regions called osteons. Let's actually blow up on one of them right here. So here is one osteon right here. Okay? Notice that right in the center of the osteon, there's what we have. It's called a central canal. Sometimes they'll call it a haversian canal. We actually see it listed right here. We're actually seeing deeper into the bone, but we see that the central canal, also called a haversian canal, is in the center of each one of these osteons. Okay? Now, surrounding the central canal, we see what are called concentric lamellae. Okay? So notice there's these rings that go around the central canal. And then there's another ring that goes around the first ring, and a third ring that goes around the second ring, and so on. And each of these rings is called a concentric lamellae. Okay. There are individual regions where there's no osteon between the osteons that basically just occupy space. These are called interstitial lamellae. Okay? But the concentric lamellae lie in circles around the central canal. Okay? A couple other things. Notice that the central canal contains blood vessels. And so these blood vessels are going to supply the osteocytes of each osteon. So the osteocytes are contained in spaces called lacunae. Singular is lacuna. So here's one lacuna. Here's a second one. Third lacuna. Fourth lacuna. It looks like there's 6 lacunae lying in between the first and second concentric lamellae. Okay? These lacunae are spaces where the osteocytes actually live. Okay? And they function in maintaining the osteon, the bone tissue. So let's actually take a look now at a microscope image of the osteon. So here's our central canal right in the center, also called a Haversian canal. That's going to contain the blood vessels, both artery and vein. So the artery is going to supply the osteon, and the vein is going to drain away waste products. Okay. Now again, we have concentric lamellae that lie in circles around the central canal. Okay. We also see here lacunae. These are these black dots, okay? And there's going to be osteocytes that lie in those lacunae. Okay? Now also, if we look really carefully, you'll be able to see this on most microscope images, connecting all the lacunae and lying perpendicular to the orientation of the lamellae, we see these wrinkles. These little wrinkles that seem to connect each of the lacunae. Those wrinkles are actually very small crevices, and they're called Canaliculi. Okay? And there's many, many, many of those. And what the Canaliculi actually allow is for each osteocyte to communicate with an adjacent osteocyte in a lacuna nearby. So for example, if we look at this lacuna right here, the osteocyte that lies in here is likely in communication with the osteocyte that lies in this lacuna. Okay? And they're able to communicate with each other through arm-like projections that actually sit inside the Canaliculi. Okay? And also there's going to be blood vessels that actually run from the central canal and that penetrate to each of the lacunae so that the osteocytes can receive a blood supply. Okay? Now to give a better representation of what this would look like, we're going to actually look at a scanning electron microscopy image. This is a really cool technique that allows us to get extremely high resolution images of cells. This is really neat. So this is one osteocyte right here, and you can look kind of around it. You see this black region around it. That's the space. That's the lacuna. Okay, so this osteocyte right here sits in a lacuna. Here's another one right here. We see this osteocyte sitting in a space. That's a lacuna. And notice that each of these osteocytes has many, many arm-like projections. And the arm-like projections of this osteocyte will actually communicate with and interact with the arm-like projections of this osteocyte over here. And then, of course, there's going to be more osteocytes not shown in this picture. But again, these osteocytes are going to communicate with each other, and those arms are essentially going to run through those canaliculi, which are not super visible here, but they're going to run through those. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Again, let's take another look at this. I actually got this labeled right here, but we can actually see another look at this through immunohistochemistry. This is something where they actually label different pieces of the cell different colors, and it actually allows you to distinguish the parts. So for example, if we take a zoom in right here, this would be one osteocyte right here, and it would of course sit inside a lacunae, and then you can see all the individual osteocytes. And all of their arm-like projections are going to be colored green here. And you can see that they have many, many, many connections with other osteocytes. And this allows them to communicate with each other, which helps them in their function to maintain the integrity of the bone tissue. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So to go back to the start, we're going to kind of go through everything as a review, and kind of hopefully everything will piece together nicely. So we've got our osteoblasts. These were cells that function in the secretion of the bone matrix. They secrete collagen and they secrete hydroxyapatite. Both of these things they secrete more and more and more of until eventually the osteoblast gets trapped in its own secretions. It loses some of its ability to receive oxygen and other nutrients because the matrix is so dense. And at some point it reaches a threshold where it differentiates into an osteocyte. And each osteon, which is our functional unit of compact bone, those are those rings, those circular regions right here, each of those has many, many osteocytes. And those osteocytes can communicate with each other through those arm-like projections that's kind of run through those canaliculi. Okay? And then each of the osteons is composed of several concentric lamellae, which are rings that run around the central canal, which of course contains blood vessels. It should also be noted here that if we look at two osteons right here, side by side, their blood vessels actually are connected to one another. Okay? And this is through something called a perforating canal. So this canal right here that runs between two adjacent osteons, this is a perforating canal, and notice the artery and vein of each of these is actually connected to the next. And there's many, many perforating canals that connect each of these osteons so that each one can receive adequate blood supply, both to deliver it nutrients and to drain waste products. Okay, so hopefully this video gave you a good understanding of osteoblasts, osteocytes, and also the organization of the osteon. In the next video, we're going to look at the functions of larger cells called osteoclasts, which actually are going to perform the opposite function as osteoblasts. See you in the next video.